What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. Wanted to do a my favorite draft classes from this past draft. I have like 5 or 6 teams here, and they're not in any particular order. Just kind of number one. I have a clear number one. Outside of that, everyone else is just I like their classes a lot. Number one, easy choice for me, Minnesota. You got the best player in the draft. Obviously, there's nothing to hate about that pick. And then we're able to get a player of Tyus Jones' caliber at the end with the trade with Cleveland. That is an amazing draft class, and you get to pair those two up with reigning Rookie of the Year, Andrew Wiggins. You got Zach LaVine, who has crazy potential, and needs to work on his defense a lot. And Ricky Rubio, who I think he's going to be. I'm not worried about him. He has amazing vision. He gets a crazy amount of steals. He just needs to be able to stay healthy and start hitting that shot. And of course, people say, "Oh, it's just repetition. You just got to keep practicing that. He'll eventually get it." But Rondo is still around in this league, and he hasn't gotten it. But I'm not really worried about Rubio. That is just a great young core of players that they have in Minnesota. They also have Pekovic, and I'm probably missing someone else. But yeah, to be able to get the tournament MVP, NCAA champion, Tyus Jones, for just a minor trade was a great move for them. Then I have Houston here. They got Sam Dekker and Montrezl Harrell, which is I think they were about where they went. Harrell may have dropped a little bit further than I thought he would, but they're both around where they were. But to be able to add those pieces to their already set pieces, I think was a great. They had a great draft. I think Dekker. I'm not as high on Dekker as most people, but you can't argue with 6'9" and that athleticism, and it may have been the offense that what's his name, the Wisconsin coach, Ryan, whatever, may have held him back. They really. A lot of it flowed through Kaminsky, but we'll see how he does in Houston. This one pains me a lot. Miami drafting Justice Winslow with the number 10 pick, I believe. That one hurts. As a Duke fan, I wanted to root for Justice Winslow. I got a Justice Winslow jersey from Duke. Now I got to burn it because I freaking hate the Miami Heat. They have a horseshoe up their ass. I don't know what Detroit was thinking, picking Stanley Johnson over Justice Winslow. Like, I feel like Stanley Johnson, he's a good player, but I think he's a piece you add to a core that you already have. You're not making him a building block. He's a piece you add to it. Justice Winslow is a building block. I think he's already better than him now, and I believe he's younger. I don't know what Detroit's doing. But, yeah, Winslow coming in. And like I said in the other video, I see a lot of Dwayne Wade in him. Ironically, he may end up replacing him or at least being Wade playing the mentor role to him. Whatever. As for Boston, this was more of the tandem that they got rather than each individual player. Rozier, I thought was a bit of a reach. I'm not that high on him, but Boston likes their defense, and I think he is a good defender at the point guard spot. He's got a great long wingspan, and he's got okay size. He's more of a scorer. I think he had like double the amount of rebounds as he did assists. He doesn't have that great of vision. He's not a pure point guard, but I think at least initially he can come off the bench and provide some offense and lock down some point guards. And then their second pick, they were able to get R.J. Hunter. If you told me that they would have drafted both these guys, I thought they would have been in reverse spots. I thought they would have taken Hunter first, Rozier last. But I think Hunter was a steal with that second pick. I don't know what L.A. was thinking, taking, who was it, Larry Nance Jr. over Hunter? And I also disagree with their pick of Russell over Okafor. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. But, it is a guards league, so I can't fault them too much. And then Golden State, they got Kevon Looney from UCLA. you're able to win an NBA championship and then draft a player of Looney's caliber. That's just best player available. They don't really need a power forward unless they end up trading David Lee, which seems to be a prevailing rumor these days, since he is owed like $15 million, I think. But he's in the last year of his contract, so he'll be relatively easier to move in if we're another year. And then you guys knew it was coming. I have New York if you saw my last video, I wasn't that high on Porzingis. Granted, he may have the highest potential of anyone in the draft at 7'3". He's 7'1" and a quarter in socks, so he's around 7'3" in shoes. With the 7'6" wingspan, which is the longest of everyone, at least tied with everyone else in the draft class, who can hit the three, can run and finish in transition. He needs to work on his rebounding, that's for sure. But of course, he does have the high potential, but the risk is certainly there. Europeans haven't fared so well recently in the lottery, being taken in the lottery, and New York particularly has a bad history with Europeans. But this kid seems to be of a different breed. He speaks English fluently, and I think he'll be able to adapt better than the other Europeans. He'll be able to speak with the coaches and the players, develop a rapport and chemistry with the other players. I think his road will be a little easier than others, but it's definitely risky, But the thing that made me really like this was they were able to trade Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Atlanta Hawks for the number 19 pick, in which they chose Jaren Grant, point guard out of Notre Dame. He's exactly what New York needs, an athletic point guard with great vision. He averaged about 7 assists the last couple of years, and he's a scorer, and he has a lot of defensive potential. I really like Grant. And Tim Hardaway, he's a good three-point shooter. Everyone knows he's a shooter. And I'll give him that he can also run in transition and finish in transition, but nothing else. He can't rebound. He refuses to play D. Defense is really a matter of motive and effort for the most part. Obviously, I can't go trot out there and just give it my all and start locking up Kobe. But he is an athlete, and his defense is so bad. Maybe Atlanta, since they do emphasize it, they see something in him that they can coach up. But I don't understand the move for the Hawks, other than them trying to get Cap. No, because they're about the same salary, the number 19 pick in Hardaway. I don't know. I don't know what they got out of it, but this is the first trade that I feel the Knicks have won initially. You can't say they won it, but I feel like this is the first trade that they've won in a while. That Bargnani trade, the McGrady trade, Carmelo Anthony, we did get the superstar in the trade, but we're still paying for it. Next year we'll still be paying for it. We don't have a first-round pick. Next year Denver gets to swap with what we get, and then that pick that we end up getting goes to Toronto, I believe, in the Bargnani trade. Boy, a lot of stupid moves, but at least Phil Jackson embraced the tank, shut down Carmelo. He played 40 minutes in the All-Star game, and then just shut it down. It was a clear tank. And then the Knicks were able to trade a couple second-rounders for a draft and stash player in Willie Hernangomez, who was a teammate of Porzingis in Sevilla. I do like what he would bring to the table, but he's not going to be coming for at least a year. He reminds me of a lot of, I know this isn't high praise, but of a Munson. He may have a little more potential than a Munson. But getting a Lua Munson with that very small contract, I think, is worth it. You need some guys off the bench, right? But yeah, that's what I got. I got Minnesota, Houston, Miami, Boston, Golden State, New York. I didn't really dislike any draft classes, really. LA, I would have gone in different directions in both their picks, but I can't say that it was a bad draft. I think Philadelphia got a steal in Okafor at the number 3 pick. He's a guy who's in contention for the number 1 pick any other year, and even this year. Just don't know what the hell they're doing. I thought they would have traded someone. I guess they'll see what they got in Okafor, and then they'll trade Embiid whenever he comes back, or Noel, whatever. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know whose class you think is the best, and subscribe if you want. See ya.